Hello everybody, this is GeneralJannis, and today in Chaos Tactics I'm looking at the death card and making a first durability analysis versus some of the more prevalent Space Marine datasheets that we've seen revealed this weekend. And of course, really excited for tomorrow and anxious to see what we get for more surprises and things like that. But let's start looking at this durability. So today, the 12th of June, as I said, waiting anxiously for the Chaos Index tomorrow. And in this video, I will be looking at the durability of the death card units. The most, let's say, we've seen quite a lot of our data sheets, and also now that we have the whole index for the Space Marines, I'm looking at these typical squads that you might encounter and how for example, our Plague Marines will be faring against Intercessors or Eradicators or something like that. So I hope this video will be helpful in some way. Before I start, as always, very big thanks to my patrons, all the people in the Discord channel, everybody that is writing good comments on Facebook forum, etc. And let's get started with these calculations. So in this video, I analyzed the death card units being targets. So I took the Plague Marines, the Blightlords, Deathshroud Terminators. They are a bit more resilient now than Blightlords, especially versus weapons that are stronger than their toughness. So everything stronger 7. They are -1 to wound our Deathshroud. Then we have our Myphitic Blighthauler and Foetid Blaotdrones that now are toughness 9. The Plague Scroller toughness 10. Demon Prince, an impressive toughness 11 and a 4+ invul, and then Mortarion, toughness 12 and a 5+ feel no pain. So apart from everything, apart from the Plague Marines here, everything has invulnerable saves, and we have the lowest toughness is toughness 5, going up all the way to toughness 12 for Mortarion. And then for Space Marines, I try to select some units to calculate, for example, 10 Intercessors with their bolters when they are bolt rifles when they are shooting at all these death card targets. I also took the new Inferno squad. Maybe those are quite strong now. The Hellblasters, and now that we don't have discussing resilience, you will see they can be a pain. Then the Eradicators seem to be really strong anti-vehicle characteristics now. The Redemptor, always a problem. It also has discussing resilience with its plasma weapon. The Predator Annihilator with a new twin-linked, let's say, las cannons and the sponsor las cannons, and then some Space Marine enemies in melee, just taking also one of the captains with power weapon, and then 5 Terminators with a power fist, also quite strong versus death card, damage 2 and strength 8. And then the new Brutalis Dreadnought, again, probably something that you will see on the tables, quite strong in melee, as you will see. And then the Primarch Guilliman, he has 2 weapon profiles and a lot of damage and a lot of attacks, and you will see he can also do, you have to be really careful of him. Let me know in the comments for some other suggestions of units you want to see, how they would deal damage against Death Guard, anything else that is typically used as from Space Marine players. Let me know and I can add that to my calculations. So starting now with death card durability versus these squads. Now I'm not calculating any Oath of the Moment, and I don't calculate for any attached leaders to these squads that you saw on the previous page. So in this table you have on the columns, you have all the death card units I analyzed from the Plague Marines up to Mortarion. And then as rows you have the different squads from the Intercessor shooting, a 10-man squad shooting 20 attacks, cannot do a lot versus Death Guard, maybe kill 1 Plague Marine, 2 wounds on our Terminators, one wound on Plague Scrollers. Our vehicles are quite well protected from this type of light fire, and also the Daemon Prince and Mortarion as well, as you can see on the first row. Then moving on to the Inferno squad, here I calculated with 35 attacks. Basically, it's 10d6 attacks. They auto hit, but they don't have any AP, so they can do some damage to Plague Marines, not so much to our Terminators, which have the 2+ save. And again, maybe spamming some wounds through a Myphitic Blighthauler, not so much versus Plague Scrollers because they are only wounding on a 2+. And then we have the Demon Prince and Mortarion, quite impervious to the 10-man Inferno squad. But if we are impervious to Intercessor and Inferno squad, when you can take a look here, guys, on the Hellblasters. This is, I'm assuming they're stationary, they have heavy weaponry, so they are hitting on 2+, and they supercharge, sacrificing themselves to deal extra damage if they roll a 1 after the test. But here you can see 19 wounds on Plague Marines, almost taking out a full squad of Plague Marines now that we don't have the disgusting resilience. So 10-man 10-man Hellblaster squad would be wiping out almost your Plague Marines if they can shoot at them. And here we don't even have Oath of the Moment. So we have also some wounds against the Terminators, and also quite some nasty damage to Myphitic Blighthauler and the Plagueburst Crawler here. With so many shots, something is bound to wound here. And falling off against the Daemon Prince with a 4+ invul, and also Mortarion and his Feel No Pain. When we go to the Eradicators, of course, the Eradicators now they have less number of shots. Previously, they had 2 shots each when they fired on one target. This has been removed, but they have some crazy good rules that when they shoot against vehicles or monsters, they can reroll the hit roll, they can reroll the wound roll, and the damage roll. So here I'm assuming versus vehicles and monsters, they reroll if the wound is 1 and 2s. So you can see here the 5 Eradicators from 18 inches. They have to be close to make this the Meltas fire. So 10 wounds against a Myphitic Blighthauler or Foetid Blaotdrone. They will be taking out one of those without Oath of the Moment. But basically, they have all the rerolls they want without the Oath of the Moment. So be careful against the Eradicators as always. 8 wounds on a Plagueburst Crawler. Some also wounds on Daemon Prince and Mortarion here. Of course, they are the five attacks with the Meltas. They can kill the Terminator here and there, but it's not really an anti-infantry type of weapon. And then we have the Redemptor with a Plasma Incinerator. Also, if he's supercharging, damage 3. If D6+1 shots, he can make some wounds against Terminators. 2-3 wounds across the board here. I didn't include the other weapons from the Redemptor, but something that you will probably look at this, see this on the tabletop. And then the Predator Annihilator with a twin las cannon and 2 times Sponson las cannons. The twin las cannon is now strength 14, so wounding a lot of our stuff with 3+ or 2+ is here. And then the normal las cannons are strength 12, AP -3 damage, D6+1. So they have a total here 3 las cannon shots. The twin las cannon has a twin linked, and you can see it can do 3-4 wounds against the Daemon Prince and our vehicle. So not super scary here, but of course they will be chipping things away. And then moving on to melee, we have the captain here just to see if he's leading a unit. He will be adding some damage. He can be a bit dangerous versus Plague Marines, not so much versus the other units with his 6 attacks. But then when we move to the Terminators with their Power Fists, they have 15 attacks with their Power Fists here, and they can do 9 wounds on our Plague Marines and start chipping away our Terminators and also doing some damage to our vehicles here. And then we see Guilliman. He has 2 profiles. His 14 sweep attack with damage 2. Now this is really dangerous against Plague Marines. 7 Plague Marines killed here, and also can do a lot of damage versus our vehicles. The Brutalist Red also 7 wounds against Myphitic Blighthauler, Foetid Blaotdrones, and then the Guilliman's let's say strong attack with the Hand of Dominion here, damage 4, dangerous against our Terminators or Plague Marines, and of course you can see here he will be taking out Myphitic Blighthauler, or a Plagueburst Crawler will be nearly killed here. But again, Hellblasters very difficult to face now with the supercharging that we don't have the Disgusting Resilience. Consider keeping the 2 command points for the Disgusting Resilience strat. And as I said, watch out for Guilliman and the Intercessors and Inferno squads. Not a huge threat versus most of the Death Guard units we have here. And now let's look at the situation when the Space Marines have selected one of these units as Oath of the Moment. Then they will be re-rolling the hit roll, re-rolling the wound roll, and you can see now the damage is picking up. Still, the Intercessors and Inferno squad are not so strong here, as you can see on the second line. But if we look at the Hellblasters now, re-rolling all to hit and all to wound rolls, they can basically wipe out everything in our army. This big squad. So 15 Plague Marines would be possible to take out here. 4 Blightlord Terminators. The Deathshroud are a bit more protected here because the Hellblasters are -1 to wound them, and then they can take out a whole Myphitic Blighthauler or a Plagueburst Crawler if they can see you. The Daemon Prince also killed, and 7 wounds on Mortarion. So really something to look out for these Hellblasters here. For the Eradicators, yeah, it's the same damage versus vehicles and monsters because they basically have the Oath of the Moment versus those, all the rerolls. And then some more here to look. The Terminators with their Power Fists, when they are attacking something with Oath of the Moment, they are hitting on 2 pluses instead of 3. So you can see damage increasing, 17 wounds on Plague Marines, killing 9 Plague Marines here. Also starting to take out quite a lot of 3 Blightlord Terminators or a complete Foetid Blaotdrone or Myphitic Blighthauler. And you can see, of course, Guilliman's own damage goes really up with Oath of the Moment, and Guilliman can select a second squad for Oath of the Moment. So basically, only Mortarion can survive all this onslaught, but not, of course, if the enemy is combining a lot of units shooting at him. Then it will be difficult to keep him alive, even with the 5+ Feel No Pain and his 2+ save now. So the loss of Disgusting Resilience, of course, hurts, especially versus this damage 2 weapons. So things like the Hellblasters, so their supercharged plasmas, will be more of an issue going forward. The 2 command point stratagem is expensive, but it could prove really important. There is a lot of weaponry that has high strength and so on, so bypasses basically our toughness. So we would need to have something. It would be nice to have something to minimize a little bit the damage we take, but doesn't seem so far with the rules we have seen. A lot of our units have invul saves. You have to be rolling hot to do your 4+ invul saves, but we all know those games where our invul saves don't work with us, it's gonna be difficult. The Hellblasters could be a menace in this edition. Eradicators basically reroll everything versus vehicle and monsters. Can be a problem now if you are trying to use a lot of Myphitic Blighthauler and things like that. Remember to try to stay out of the range of the Eradicators, or use the terrain to give cover. Oath of the Moment, really problematic. Let's say it's such a strong rule for the whole army, and something like Mortarion, targeted by Oath of the Moment and a couple of units shooting at him, then it will be really difficult for him to survive. So the terrain, even more important maybe. Yeah, be careful if you see Guilliman, don't rush Mortarion on him. Guilliman is no longer, let's say, he doesn't seem like a little brother, more of a equal to Mortarion here. So this concludes the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, please press like and subscribe to my channel. And tomorrow I will try to start bringing you more analysis when we get all the data sheets, and also, of course, looking at our enhancements, our stratagems. And I will also, of course, look when we have the points and try to do all the analysis that I typically do. So with these words, GeneralJannis signing out. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.